What's going on, guys? Ted from Immersion here, and this week I'm a little bit late, but not too bad compared to previous weeks, with your D&D weekly update. We've got some news about where you can find Wizards of the Coast folks as far as their conventions, a little bit of stuff about PAX South, more info on what's been going on with the D&D weekly podcast, some Neverwinter updates, but some pretty interesting stuff about minis that I actually missed from a couple weeks back that if you guys missed out on, and you like minis, or you want to get started into painting minis or buying your own, you may be pretty interested in what I have to say. So stay tuned. So, why don't we jump right in? First of all, we had new Unearthed Arcana this week. It was a combination Unearthed Arcana, Ranger, and Rogue. I'm not going to go too much into it here because, as I've been doing, I've done updates on all of the Unearthed Arcana as they come out. There's going to be a video link in the description if you'd like to watch my video on that. There's also a playlist on the channel if you want to catch up on my thoughts for all of them. So that's first up. Second was kind of what I talked about at the beginning, is where can you find the D&D team in 2017? A couple of surprises, but I feel like one of them was fairly similar to last year. So PAX South, that's this coming weekend, the 27th to the 29th in San Antonio, Texas. Chris Perkins and Trevor Kids will both be there. Chris will have the honor of delivering the keynote story time with Chris Perkins on Friday morning, as well as stepping onto the main stage to serve as both the DM for Acquisitions Incorporated, but also for Binwin's Minions. If you recall, we talked about that in the last update. So, if you're going to be there and you're looking for some fun Adventure League play or other PAX-related activities, be sure to go over and check that out. Winter Fantasy is another big D&D convention. That's February 1st to the 5th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Chris Lindsay will be returning for Winter Fantasy. They'll be debuting a brand new D&D Adventure League Epic by Will Doyle here, giving attendees the first chance to overcome new challenges and collect loot. Chris will be running unique D&D Adventure League sessions with loot and magic items you can't get anywhere else. These, if you're Adventure League players, this is where you want to be. These kind of things are where they give out the ability to play Unearthed Arcana classes before the Unearthed Arcana class is technically allowed to play in the Adventurers League. You need to play with only published sources, but I've seen people that have certs to play the Scion or the Mystic, the kind of psionic Unearthed Arcana classes. We might see the Artificer show up through this. I've seen Gorgon mounts pop up, like a Gorgon, the large metal bull with the petrifying breath, as a mount for your character, or potentially as a steed for your paladin, depending on how that works. Things like that. There are boats, there are all sorts of crazy stuff, and this is an epic, and if this is what I think it means, that's a level 17 to 20 adventure. For those of you guys who have Adventure League characters that made it out of Tier 3, and your character's basically got nothing to do, this is the game for you. PAX East here, at least on the East Coast here in Boston, March 10th to 12th. Chris Perkins and Trevor Kidd will be there. Chris will serve as DM for another Acquisitions Incorporated live show with Mike, Jerry, Pat, and a special guest. This is because, again, Mike, Jerry, and Pat will be there, but Binwin, who is played by Scott, is going to be who knows where. The special guest, we don't know who it's going to be. I guess we'll find out. It doesn't say anything specific going to be happening there, and I may be there. Ideally, if you guys are going to be heading out, we can play D&D together, possibly. Just depends on the birth of my child when he decides to show up. If he's a little bit late, this probably won't happen. Heading back to GaryCon, which we heard a little bit about on the last update. This is a convention thrown in the honor of Gary Gygax, March 23rd to 26th at Lake Geneva in Wisconsin, where the original Gen Con was held. Mike Merles, Jeremy Crawford, and Chris Lindsay will be panelists in discussion about D&D across the editions. Mike Merles will be DMing a celebrity game using his Greyhawk house rules for 5e in one of the deadliest dungeons he's run in personal campaign, The Dreaded Path of Blades. Merle will also run a homebrew horror RPG based on the Avalon Hill board game Betrayal at House on the Hill. Chris Lindsay will lead up a host of DMs as we present the Hidden Shrine of Temacoan and the Tomb of Horrors as competitive events for the first time in decades. Also, don't miss the epic designed by Chris Lindsay featuring the Keep on the Borderlands. Again, the Hidden Shrine of Temacoan and Tomb of Horrors are like, you can do crazy big competitive things if you have it's something you got to experience, and I unfortunately don't think I'm going to be able to get to it, which is a bummer. Origins, another big one. In Columbus, Ohio, June 14th to the 18th, Mike Morales, Chris Lindsay, Chris Perkins, Trevor Kidd, and Jeremy Crawford will be returning to Origins for the D&D tabletop gaming event of the year, the D&D Open. Bring your favorite Adventurers League character and risk life and limb to bring glory upon your adventuring party. We'll also have the D&D board game tournaments, exclusive DM guild panels, exclusive Origin swag, and even more. This is what I'm hoping that I'll be able to get to, but we'll see. PAX West in Seattle, September 1st to 4th. Chris Perkins, Trevor Kidd, and many more folks from D&D. Chris will be on panel serving as Dungeon Master for Acquisitions Incorporated. Again, Jerry, Mike, Pat, and a guest, who I'm sure we'll find out in PAX East. HasbroCon, this is a smaller new convention here again on the East Coast, Providence, Rhode Island, September 9th to 10th. Join us in Providence for the debut of HasCon, a new convention in September, focusing on all of Hasbro's brands, including Transformers, My Little Pony, Magic, and D&D. You get to peek behind the curtain of our characters and stories through interactive experiences, exclusive products, talent appearances, panels, and much more. I hope to attend that one as well. It's close to home, so we shall see. And lastly, GameholeCon in Madison, Wisconsin, November 2nd to the 5th. Mike Merles and Chris Lizzie will return into the Midwest in November for GameholeCon in Madison. Mike and Chris will be attending panels, serving as DMs in unique Adventurer League scenarios, and hanging out and answering any questions. These are, again, those are the ones you kind of want to, the ones you kind of want to get to are the unique ones with the unique gear. Because if you're an Adventurer League player, you're going to get some badass loot potentially that you can't get anywhere else, and it's worth it. Just from what I've seen. So, again, as we talked about, D&D at PAX South. This Friday, the 27th at 10:30 a.m., Chris Perkins is at Root, a storyteller, which makes him perfect for PAX South's story time. As a principal story designer for D&D, his stories become places that you and your friends can live in. As the Dungeon Master for the players of Acquisitions Incorporated and many, many others, he's entertained hundreds of thousands over the years. Now Chris pulls back the DM screen to share the tale of his life and adventure on creating stories for D&D. Again, as I just mentioned, Friday the 27th, this Friday at 5:30, Binwin's Minions. That's really hard to say that 3 times fast. Binwin Bronzebottom is looking for a few good adventurers to help acquire all the loot from the ruined keep of Ikilia. Chris Perkins will run a live D&D game with Table Titans creator Scott Kurtz, who plays Binwin, along with our first set of brave new adventurers. Our cast of minions includes Tavis Maiden, Bill Roper, plus some super secret surprise minions. And then again, the live Acquisitions Incorporated. Here we go. Saturday the 28th. That's right, AI is coming to PAX South. Chris Perkins joined by Jerry Hollins, Mike Krahulik, Patrick Rothfuss, and the returning intern Morgan Webb, coming back from like one of the first Acquisitions Inc. from way back in the day for the newest Acquisitions Incorporated adventure. After their recent success against the Giants and the Duran Enterprises, the AI folks, heroes find themselves in dire need of some coin. With no new ventures on the horizon, it's time to head to the Yawning Portal, one of the greatest taverns of all time, and hunt down some rumors of lost treasure. Yawning Portal being the Tales from the Yawning Portal being the new book that's soon to release in about 2 months from D&D. So pretty cool stuff. I had a feeling it was going to be Morgan Webb, but I wasn't going to say anything, but I guess now we know. Wolfgang Baur is on the Dragontalk podcast. Wolfgang Baur, if the name sounds familiar, I've talked about him in the past. He's the kind of CEO, as it were, of Kobold Press, the folks behind Hoard of the Dragon Queen, Rise of Tiamat, as well as a couple of fun DM's Guild adventures. But you guys probably know them most from the Tome of Beasts 400 plus monsters that are released earlier last year. But anyway, he's on the Dragontalk podcast to talk about his recent DMing for Girl Scouts and what's coming down the pipe in 2017 for Kobold Press. And then in Sage Advice, Jeremy Crawford wades into the mire of spell targeting and clears away the muck to provide clarity. Why is it not lore you should know? It's probably because Chris Perkins is going to be at PAX, so we're prepping for that. And then some stuff for Neverwinter. There was a more recent release that just happened not that long ago. Again, also a fun free-to-play MMO if you guys haven't checked it out. It's on both PC, Xbox, and PS4, so you guys can definitely play it. I would assume on pretty much any console you have access to. My only complaint, and might kind of throw you guys off a little bit, It does say an online co-op inspired by R.A. Salvatore's Neverwinter Saga. That's true. There's a lot of cool stuff, and even there's, like, if you're familiar with Baldur's Gate, like, Minx and Boo have shown up in recent ones. They've added a lot just in the little bit of time that I had played. They added more story-related activities. But the only thing that might throw you off if you're a 5e player, this is sort of modeled after 4e rules, just due to the timing of the release. So you'll notice names of character classes and abilities and things are not 5th edition themed. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. It's still a fun, free MMO. And it does allow you to play through the storylines that have released, like Order of the Dragon Queen and Princess of the Apocalypse and Storm King's Thunder is the new one, so you can play through kind of the more recent D&D kind of Adventure League as well as published source storylines, but in an MMO format. This was something I missed at the beginning of the month that I really wanted to talk about that I'm really excited for. It's only 2 months away as far as release goes. But this is Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. If you're familiar with the name Nolzur, it's one of the names of, I think one of the spells is Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments, or at least it's one of the magic items you can get. But these are coming from the folks at WizKids. They are the folks behind Dice Masters, and they do all the official D&D minis, the ones that you've seen me open on the channel. But they're releasing a series of unpainted, fully kind of assembled minis for Dungeons and Dragons that you can then buy and then paint to your heart's content. So, what do we got? You can see these are pretty, I mean, again, hard to tell without actually seeing these, but these are on 20mm basis, so these will work for 5e and most kind of 1 inch by 1 inch grids. But look at the detail on these prints. Now, again, it's hard to say, but these look pretty detailed. So we've got some goblins in different configurations. Kobolds, again, different configurations. Some different spiders. This one's kind of eating a guy. A couple skeletons. Some orcs. Gargoyles. We got a couple of bugbears here. Some familiars. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. There's your pseudo-dragon. There is your imp. I don't know what that's supposed to be, though, as far as a familiar goes. But either way, a ghost. A couple of vampires. Mind flayers. Some zombies. A blink dog. Very cool. Gnolls. Ghouls. A phase spider. Troll. A griffin. Displacer beast. And here's where you can get some fun stuff where you can buy these for your own characters and then paint them up to match the way you want your characters to look. There's a couple of halfling rogues. I really like this one with the kind of smoke bombs. Pretty neat. Another female halfling rogue. Human sorcerer. Human monk. Some of these do look fairly similar to the ones we have seen in published official WizKids minis, but human ranger, male and female, elf ranger. You can make yourself a cool, basically Drizzt. That's what these all seem to be rendered as. And then a female elf ranger. Here's your human barbarian. And then your female human barbarian. Your human wizard. Your female human wizard. Your dwarf wizard. That's cool. I really like the color schemes on these dwarves, the way they have them rendered. And that's it. But those are, I don't believe we know the price yet on any of these. Let's click on one. We can just see the images. Let's scroll it to the top and see if it tells us the price. I don't believe we can get that. Full list. These are for use of D&D. Is this open anything? Yes, no. Full list. Nope. It shows us the minis. It does not tell us how much they are. So, be on the lookout, folks. I will be picking up at least one of these just to see what it's like. I haven't messed with them at all because obviously they're not out yet, but I do enjoy painting minis and sort of altering and Frankensteining different minis together to make other ones. And for your generic stuff, if you can get these in packs, or depending on the price, this could be a good way to go. Because currently the only way to get D&D official minis is to buy them in a blind box and hope you get what you want. Or go on eBay or something like that, or buy attack wing minis and pay way more money than you should because you want to get like a group of goblins. You can get 8 goblins from an attack wing set, but they come with all the stuff for attack wing, and if you don't play, then it's kind of pointless to you. But Anyway, guys, and the last thing I wanted to tell you is this Monday, or today, as you're probably seeing it, the 23rd, there will not be an Unearthed Arcana, which is a bummer because I was really pumped to see what we were going to get for Sorcerer, because we haven't really got a lot of Sorcerer love in Unearthed Arcana except for the Shadow Sorcerer. So, unfortunately, no Unearthed Arcana today, the 23rd, but we will be getting it next Monday on the 30th. So, be sure that I will be popping back in here to let you guys know. That actually reminds me, while I'm thinking about it, this past Tuesday was the return of Dice Camera Action, the official D&D stream that goes from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, that is run by Chris Perkins online with some online people that you might recognize, like Holly Conrad, Anna Prosser Robinson, Nate Wants to Battle, Pro Jared, and they played through all of Curse of Strahd, was Season 1. Now, I believe it's the same characters, are going to be playing through Storm King's Thunder. So, you want to check that out. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this week. I updated this as I said I was going to do over here. At the top is our Out of the Abyss campaign, because I haven't gotten back to doing my Kickstarter spotlights and DM Guild spotlights like I wanted to, but soon enough I will. So at the top, you can check out our Out of the Abyss campaign. We play this every Tuesday, right here in the basement behind me, at this very table. We are about 8 episodes in. We just reached Blingdenstone, and that's kind of what you're going to see in this episode, where we're getting there. This Tuesday, we'll be picking up inside the city. Right here in the middle is Horde of the Dragon Queen. I play this every other Monday, which coincidentally enough, by the time you're seeing it, that will be this night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I play with 4 of my lovely lady friends that I've met on the internet that love D&D. They are playing through Horde of the Dragon Queen. They have completed the first chapter and rescued Greenest, and they have just made it to the Raider camp when things have gone a little bit iffy. We'll see if they are able to make it out and with their lives, let alone the information they were set there to get. And down on the bottom is Curse of Strahd. You guys requested that we play through this game, so we started it as a recording. I'm editing the videos behind the scenes and uploading them at a fairly rapid pace so we can get this to a live stream. I don't think it's going to be at a consistent live stream schedule, but we're going to try to do it as often as we can. I have a lot of backlog to go through. That down there is the very first episode has released, and it is where we create the characters. And Jake, who will be DMing, who you see play with us on Tuesday and in other games, Jake is a little bit sadistic when it comes to creating characters. He allows people to take gambles and make rolls, betting other people's stats to raise another person who might have lower stats. So, by stats I mean ability scores. So if you want to see how that goes, you can check that out. But later this week, the first actual episode featuring gameplay will release. Once I determine how many episodes we actually have, I might be doing twice a week with the Curse of Strahd episodes just to keep it so we can speed up the releases. So, anyway, guys, hope you enjoy any of those videos. Be sure to check back to the channel. I'm putting out as much content as I possibly can. You might see there was a couple of videos. There was a review of the Slaughtered Splinterfang Gourd, a Total Party Kills game here on the channel that got a lot of interest. You guys should check it out if you like difficult potential party killing content, and this one specifically themed around making goblinoids tough, and they usually get forgotten after early levels, so it's pretty interesting. Lastly, you can just click that subscribe button down there. Thank you so much. We broke 1,500 subscribers here on YouTube. That is huge to me, and I really appreciate it. The more help that you guys get the channel, the more things we're able to do. Again, right now, this is something that I do in my spare time, and that's kind of how I always planned on it being. But the more support we get, and the more love that you guys show the channel, the potential that I can maybe get some other folks to help me DM or run other videos here on the channel and get more content out for you guys more frequently. So, hope you like what you see, guys. I'm looking forward to a great 2017 with a ton of new content and hopefully more in-person appearances. But, baby, so I guess we'll see what happens, how much that's going to cut into this. But I've been assured by my wife that most of this isn't going to change. So, anyway, guys, hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.